Good morning and good afternoon. Welcome to another episode of Before Coffee. What day is it today? Well, of course, it's Thursdays 13, our favorite list episode where we get 13 things, put them on a list. And today's list is more musical questions. Number 4, we just love music and we love music to ask questions. And we've got 13 new ones for you to discover and maybe even argue yourself. If there are any songs that you think deserve to be on a musical questions list, go ahead and comment down below, and maybe we can even have like a user comments list version where you say, hey, you forgot this one. This is Before Coffee, the father and daughter comprehensive news of Planet Earth podcast, where we just had caffeine. We're learning to read live on stream. Don't forget to follow us on Patreon if you'd like to support the show. And let's get into today's headline.
You can join Patreon for our channel for $1 a month.
Yeah.
Not a lot of money.
From 1 to 10 to 50, whatever you want to give us. We support all of that support. We accept all that support. Yeah, thank you. And following us and subscribing is also greatly appreciated. We need more subscribers on Ali and Raj, so let's get into today's headlines. Today on Thursdays 13, Martha's Rule. Second opinion rolled out to every acute hospital in England after a campaign. And Prince William put pressure on Queen Elizabeth to intervene in Scottish independence referendum. It's been revealed.
In the United States, we're going to report on the water quality at trailer parks, where a vast majority of young people are now living.
Saskatchewan RCMP have arrested Romana Deludo, the Queen of Canada.
And for Thursday's 13 list, we're going to report on the musical questions 4.0. This is either the 4th or 5th time we've done this.
In sad death news, Giorgio Armani, legendary Italian fashion designer, has died at age 91. We're going to talk about his long, successful life.
And it's National Macadamia Nut Day. So go nuts. It's September 4th, 2025 on Before Coffee. I'll be back in like 30 seconds. I just got to go get the cup.
Yes. You're leaving now. I thought we were rolling the wheel first and then you were leaving.
Roll the wheel.
I'll roll the wheel without you being on screen. We're gonna.
Okay. I'm here. I'm on screen. See, hi.
Roll the wheel.
Well, are you rolling it or what?
Reminds me of a song. He's not. Okay, I guess we're gonna go straight into my story, because he's leaving the show in the middle of it for coffee. We're gonna start with a story about Martha's Rule, which is a new patient safety initiative in England that is rolling out on every acute hospital. So I think like smaller, not big hospitals, but like smaller kind of like, I don't know what to call it in English because my brain is so Dutch coded now, but I want to call it a house arts. There's like hospitals and then there's like little smaller places you go. That place. Let's talk about the story. That's from Jane Kirby by The Independent. A crucial patient safety initiative, Martha's Rule, is to be rolled out across every acute hospital in England, empowering worried families and patients to seek a rapid second opinion on their care. The scheme, which has already seen hundreds of patient benefits, clinics. Thank you, Vanka. At clinics. Not hospitals, but clinics. You call them clinics in the United States. The scheme, which had already seen hundreds of patients benefit from potentially life-saving changes to their treatment, was established following the tragic death of 13-year-old Martha Mills. Martha developed sepsis while under the care of King's College Hospital NHS Foundation Trust in South London in 2021. A coroner later concluded she would most likely have survived had doctors identified the warning signs of a rapidly deteriorating condition, transferred her to intensive care sooner. Martha's parents, Maroke Mills, an editor at The Guardian, and her husband, Paul Lady, raised concerns about Martha's health a number of times, but these were brushed aside. Yeah, when you're only asking one guy, hey, should we maybe do something about this? And they're just like, nah, it's fine. And there's nobody else being asked about it, no other second opinion, even third opinion. The escalation process, which formalizes access to critical care teams for second opinion, is available 24/7 and is advertised throughout hospitals. Under the urgent move, an urgent clinical review is carried out by different teams in the hospital if a patient's condition is worsening and they or their family feels like they're not getting the care they need. Staff can also ask for a review from a different team if they are concerned about a patient's treatment. Between September 24 and June 25, some 4,906 calls were made to Martha's rural helplines to escalate concerns about care, NHS said. So before they've made it an official thing that clinics have to do, people were calling a helpline being like, can you please help me reinforce my rights to a second opinion? I need somebody to tell me, is this normal, or am I being brushed off for something that's dangerous? Almost 3/4 or 71.9% of calls were from families seeking help, with 720 calls leading to changes in care, such as new medicines and antibiotics. That's really amazing. Even one person being able to get a better treatment because they're able to advocate for themselves is a win in my books. Almost 800 or 795 calls led to clinical concerns, such as medication or investigation delays being addressed. Oh, that's awful. We know something's wrong with you, but we're not going to investigate it. Okay. Further 1,030 calls led to changes with communication and a discharge planning issue. All 210 acute inpatient sites in England now offer the service, NHS England said. So if you need to contact somebody and you're living in England and you need to advocate for a second opinion, you're able to do it. Miss Mills and Mr. Lady said in a statement, it would be Martha's 18th birthday today, another milestone she has missed as a result of the poor care and hospital errors that led to her unnecessary death. We feel her absence every day, but at least Martha's rule is already preventing many families from experiencing something similar. The figures prove that lives are saved when patients and families are given power to act on their suspicions when they feel doctors might have got it wrong and their voices isn't heard. We are pleased to know more hospitals are taking up Martha's rule and look forward to a time when every patient in the UK knows about the initiative and has easy access to it. Health Secretary Wes Streeting said, no family should ever have to go through the Mirope and Paul Mills endured when they lost Martha. But her parents' tireless campaigning has created a lasting legacy that's already having potentially life-saving impact across England. Martha's rule puts patients and families at the heart of their care by rolling this out to every acute hospital in England. We're delivering our promise through our plan for change to rebuild trust in the NHS, but patient safety first. Yeah, this is so true, because even though, yes, doctors and nurses go to school and learn about anatomy and about the body and medical sciences and all that stuff, nobody knows your body better than you. If you know, hey, I'm not supposed to be feeling this way. I've never felt this way for my entire life. And a doctor keeps dismissing it and saying, oh, that's normal. You need to find somebody who will be like, wait, that is weird. What do you mean you've never felt this in your life before? We need to figure out why you're feeling this way now, because something drastic must have changed, right? It's not normal. Because there's and this is, of course, very common with women, right? Oh, doctor, I feel a pain in my abdomen. It's probably just period cramps. Get over it. Take a Advil,
My favorite diagnosis
Sorry?
My favorite diagnosis of the olden times was one called female hysteria.
Oh, yeah, of course.
Yeah, that's what it was.
Which is not real.
It was the troubles, the time of the month. That one, yeah. Anyway.
So, but yeah, and then of course it ends up being like, oh, you're just gaining a lot of weight. Actually, you weren't gaining weight. It was a giant tumor in your ovary, but we just put it off as you gaining weight and having period cramps. Oh wow, how convenient. Now I'm dying of ovarian cancer. Anyways,
men have a time of the month too. It's 29.5 days long.
Yes, fun fact. Another fun fact.
That was a joke. It was a joke.
No, but you're right. It's actually true though. Human beings, every single human being has a hormonal cycle. Every single one of us.
Yeah.
So.
Oh, we have a cycle of cell replacement too, right?
Yeah.
Shit. Yeah. So our entire bodies replace every 11 years. Every cell in our body, except for the brain cells. Every 11 years, we are a new person entirely. Except for our brains.
Are you still you if you're 60? That's 6 of you have been regenerated.
Yeah. Right.
You're not the same guy that when I was born. Also, hello, Yen. Thank you for
No,
stopping
I'm
by
on
and
my
claiming your daily elixir.
I'm on my what is it? My sixth cycle of 11
Yeah.
years now.
Your sixth cycle of
No,
life. Anyways, let me finish the story. This is
sorry.
exactly the kind. Wait, where were we? Oh, with hundreds of potentially life-saving interventions and changes in care triggered so far, Martha's rule is about ensuring that patients and their families have their voices heard. This is exactly the kind of reform our health service needs: listening to patients, learning from tragedy, taking action to prevent it happening again. Martha's memory will live on through every life this rule helps to save. Professor Meghana Pandit, wow, that is a very English name, NHS National Medical Director, said, "There is no shadow of a doubt that Martha's rule is having a transformative impact on the way hospitals are able to work with patients and families to address deterioration or concerns about care. I want to take this opportunity to thank Marope and Paul, who have campaigned tirelessly on their issue and continue to work with us to ensure Martha's rule is at the center of our efforts to boost patient safety and quality of life. I want to thank clinical staff up and down the country who swiftly implemented this potentially life-saving intervention and ensured its success." This kind of sad that we have to. It is kind of sad that we have to have a child die in order to implement a life-saving act. It's a success. It's been a success so far.
We only learn from failure.
Yes, the body of Theseus metaphor. Does that remind you of a song?
It does. It reminds me of "I Don't Need No Doctor" by Humble Pie, Steve Marriott, Peter Frampton, anything by Steve Marriott, because that guy could sing the phone book and make it sound good. But there's your song. Next.
My next story is about Prince William supposedly put pressure on Queen Elizabeth to intervene in the Scottish independence referendum. This happened back in 2014, where they were voting to leave the United Kingdom. And as I wrote my bachelor's thesis about this, but it's still every day it gets me angry that no, you can't leave us, you'll lose the European Union. And then 2 years later they left the European Union. So they were completely swindled by England to stay in the UK.
Chicanery. Yeah, I think they invented that word in Scotland, chicanery.
Just for that exact event. This is by David Bull on the Scotsman. Prince of Wales allegedly urged the Queen to make an intervention in the independence referendum. The Prince of Wales reportedly attempted to persuade the late Queen to meddle in the vote, according to a royal biographer and former journalist Valentine Lowe. According to the Times, the book alleged the future king was among a host of key people to put pressure on the monarch to speak out in favor of the union, days before the key vote in 2014. 4 days before the referendum, Queen Elizabeth told members of the public outside Crafty Kirk near Balmoral that she hoped Scots would think very carefully about the future. Then Prime Minister David Cameron has confirmed he had been lobbying the Queen to intervene in the debate as the number campaign feared defeat in the referendum. The alleged role Prince William is said to have played behind the scene as revealed in the first time in Mr. Lowe's book, Power and the Palace. Former First Minister Nicola Sturgeon is critical of Prince William in a memoir, frankly suggesting he had been disingenuous in justifying a 21 meeting with Gordon Brown, in which he believed the pair were plotting to ensure the union was not broken up. I mean, are we surprised? Not really.
He's gonna be king.
The leaders of the ceremonial leaders of a unified country don't want to leave Scotland.
The titular leaders.
Yeah, the Queen heard
the king of
the Queen, may she rest in peace, loved Scotland, loved to go there. But the thing is, if Scotland left the Union, first of all, they probably have to start paying taxes on Balmoral, which is one of the Scottish palaces they stay up in Scotland.
Yeah, palace.
Because they would no longer be the Queen, King, or whatever of Scotland, or they would get their own bullshit there. So that's. I mean, I don't want to pay taxes on my expensive castle.
Scotland could be just like Canada, right? We'll put the king on our money or whatever the fuck, but hey, we're our own country. Leave us alone, man. We'll trade with you, but stop telling us what to do.
Yeah.
That's what I would say.
And pay your taxes. That's
Mhm.
the scariest thing for the
Yeah.
royal family, having to pay the taxes on.
Auction
Probably-
off.
Like, just think
Auction
about it.
off
They
all the
probably
crown
own
land.
thousands of properties, have thousands of things, and then all of those would get taxed. And they were just probably
Auctioned off. I would say you either
Yeah.
pay your taxes or we're gonna auction these off to the highest bidder.
Yeah.
And heck, I'm sure there's lots of billionaires that want to own a castle and a palace, right? That would be sweet.
All right. In this book, Mr. Lowe writes.
Remember that thing we bought? Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
This guy's had too much
Go ahead.
coffee. He won't shut up. In this book, Mr.
I
Lowe
thought we were
writes.
done.
The pressure on the Queen did not just come from Cameron, however. Prince William has also wanted the Queen to say something and urged the Queen's private secretary, Sir Christopher Geidt, to get her to intervene. Geidt and the Cabinet Secretary, Sir Jeremy Haywood, had already been talking about constitutional propriety of an intervention by the monarch, and between them they came up with the formula that the Queen would use when she stopped to talk to members of the public outside Craigie Kirk that Sunday. Former SNP MP Tommy Shepherd has called for the claim in the book to be investigated. Yeah, I could have probably... The thing is, right, there's a lot of Scots in the UK, or I should say in Scotland, that feel cheated, right? Like the being promised, if you leave, you'll lose access to EU, that maybe this thing, right? Please don't leave. A bunch of lobbyists trying to putting out campaigns saying, don't leave the union, it's going to be bad, it's going to be bad if you do that, right? And so there's probably a lot of Scots in Scotland who want all of this to be investigated to find out if they really had a chance of leaving the union, because it does feel like the deck was stacked against them. It's true, it runs a coach and a horse through the claim that the royal family is not involved in politics and further undermines their standing. The public have a right to know if this happened or not. Time for William to tell what happened. Asked about the report, Mr. Swiney, current leader of Scotland's parliament, I guess. What do they call it? Whatever. Simply said that this is a matter for the people of Scotland to decide their constitutional future. That's who it should be up to. I agree. Not the person who has a lot to gain from keeping you in the union. Those people should not be making the decision. That's the end of the story.
Oh, the song it reminds me of, if you follow your let me pause this song because I'm listening to it in the background. A song I haven't heard before, but the song is called King William of Orange.
Yes.
They're like, what does that have to do with anything? It's because they're doing this silly thing where they're naming their kings, and Prince William is next in line after King Charles. He's next, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it kind of goes with the old secession from back in the late 1600s, early 1700s, where King Charles was replaced by King William of Orange. So that's what it reminded me of, that song, King William of Orange, which describes the old Jacobite, if you want to call it that, rebellion in 1719, where King James tried to...
And of course, King William of Orange was a Dutch king. So...
Yep, he was definitely Dutch.
And he is
but again, he was related. And he married a Stuart
also the
queen.
One who unified Scotland with England through...
Right.
At least my opinion, through my bachelor's thesis, I did write
James
about this
the
particular
First,
event.
Right? But James the First
reinforced the idea of Scotland joining the Union through a lot of different things. Right. But one of the key things I remember is that Scotland tried to colonize the Americas, I think specifically South America, territory in South America. And they kept failing and failing, and they were just, we're not making any money, and look at all the English, they're making all that money. So through poor management, I guess, and probably maybe even English meddling, he was able to convince Scotland to join the Union, and then that's been history ever since, sadly. And I think, similar to how I think a lot of people in the southwest of America think that their land was stolen from Mexico, right? And then they're only in the United States because Mexico's land was stolen while they were fighting. I think they were fighting France or Spain. then U.S., who had nothing to do with the war, drive into Mexico City. No, they went into. I say they drove. They walked into Mexico City. Said, "We took over your capital. Give us your land, or we're going to, burn it to the ground." And then Mexico was like, "The fuck are you invading us for? We're fighting Spain right now." It was kind of an underhanded mood, but because of that event, a lot of people in the Southwest believe, right, that they're Mexicans and the land they're living on was stolen by the U.S. from Mexico.
All right.
Similar
you obviously
thing
had some
with
coffee
Scotland.
too or something, right? Because you really went to deep explanation for that. I was just going to cover the surface of it. Well, I learned something. It's good
Let's
right to
roll the
have
next
kids
segue.
smarter than you. I just wanted to point out that William's son, oldest son, is named George. So again, they're still doing it, right? Because King William, who married, of course, he married Mary. They had no children. Mary was a Stuart. When both of them were no longer alive, they were replaced by Queen Anne, and Queen Anne was replaced by King George. So there you go. Anyway, they're just skipping right to George.
Non sequitur.
But anyway, the song is called William of Orange, and it's by a band called the legendary 10 Seconds. And it's very plain, but it explains the King James William of Orange controversy.
Jacobite.
Sorry about all that.
Jacobite.
Next story.
Fight. Yeah.
The Jacobite, right? King James was the son of Charles II and said, "I'm the king." And they said, "No, you're too much of a Catholic." That's what it boiled down to.
It's so silly, yeah. And this was before they made the Anglican Church, too.
Right.
Your next
the
story.
Anglican Church was started by William, wasn't it started by Henry VIII, right? So it was before that. Yeah, so it was well before, because she was in the 1500s. Anyway, sorry.
No, it's your story. I don't know why you just want me to keep covering my stories for your turn.
I thought you had two stories. All right.
That was the second one.
So.
Look, this guy is so jazzed up. He's not living in reality.
Hey, you're the one that went on that tangent.
I know, but at least I know how many stories I've read.
All right, I got to take my glasses off. Hey, well, I heard in the history of Chapultepec, anyway, in the Halls of Montezuma, which is in Mexico. AP News has a story. Oh, wait, did you spin a wheel?
Non sequitur.
Non sequitur from AP. AP story from Michael Phyllis, Travis Lawler, and M.K. Wilderman. More than 50 years after the Safe Drinking Act was passed to assure Americans safe drinking water. Too much coffee. Millions of people are living in mobile home parks can't always count on those basic protections. Associated Press examined an Environmental Protection Agency, which basically doesn't exist anymore, database on violations by water systems across the country, ranging from the tiniest up to the major metropolitan areas. AP also surveyed states' oversight of water systems. Here's a look at the key findings of the AP report. Mobile homes violate water rules more than cities and towns. Nearly 70% of mobile home parks that run their own water systems violate safe drinking water rules over the past 5 years. That's well above the rate of cities, 48%. That's way well above the cities. And larger towns that have a failure rate of 57%. I would say cities, of course, are going to have more employees, more responsibility, probably in a professional running things, and not just some guy, going, "Yeah, Bill takes care of the water. He's got it out back." That kind of shit. That happens in small towns. Believe me. I mean, small town America is just, it's scary. It is straight up scary. Anyway, according to the EPA data, the larger towns are 50% of bad wells, bad water, so forth. The U.S. has some 50,000 water utilities, most serving small towns and rural areas. Many struggle to find expert staff and funding, and they violate clean water rules more often than a handful of large utilities that serve cities. But even among the hard-pressed small utilities, mobile home parks stand out. 70% is a pretty big chunk. The AP has found that more than half of these parks failed to perform a required test for at least one contaminated or failed to properly report the results in the past 5 years, and they are far more likely to repeat offenders of the same drinking water rules overall. Oh boy. Yep. It comes with music. Cool. The problems may go beyond what figures show. Some parks don't appear in the EPA's database at all, and many go completely unregulated. Well, you can't get them all, right? I don't know. There's so many of them. They're not municipalities. They're just pieces of land with trailers on them. For example, EPA officials were investigating. That's all they are. And if they happen to have a well, who's monitoring the well? Nobody. EPA officials were investigating high levels of cancer-causing arsenic in tap water in Southern California Mobile Park in 2021 when they realized there were several others in the area that weren't in the records, said Amy Miller, former EPA head of enforcement in the region. We're going to be a lot of formers here because the criminal at our government is basically decimated the EPA.
The Doge happened. Doge happened and everyone's been fired.
Yeah, everybody that has any responsibility for keeping your water safe, good luck. Good luck. Boil it, filter it, because you can't trust any bureaucrats because they don't exist anymore. They've been fired. So, some were found to have high levels of arsenic that residents had been drinking for years. Arsenic, that can't be bad. It's impossible to know how many under-the-radar parks there are. Most states aren't actively looking for them and say they don't find very many. Well, if you're not actively looking, well, there you go. You're not going to find very many. There's another way that problems with mobile heart. Damn God.
Bless you.
Okay, sorry about that. There's another way that problems with mobile home park water can keep attention. Some mobile home parks get their water from an outside source, for example. Water can be safe when it reaches the park, but contaminated the park has substandard or poorly installed piping. The EPA doesn't generally track water once it's on private property, so these problems can go unseen. Bad water isn't always unsafe. Residents of mobile home parks in Michigan, Iowa, and elsewhere reported taps that frequently ran dry and problems with discolored water that looked like coffee or tea. Stained their laundry and made it fearful to open their mouths in the shower, for example. Yeah. If you're taking a shower, weird noise out there. If you're taking a shower and you're afraid the water's going to fly in your mouth, don't take a shower. Just freaking sponge bath yourself and get it over with. Because
sadly.
Are you really getting clean?
And honestly, sponge baths are better saving of water, especially if you're... I assume if you're living in a trailer park, you know, you maybe don't have the best access to amenities like that.
What America's got to learn is what Puerto Rico already knows. Of course, Puerto Rico gets a shitload of water. They get a lot of rain, but put in a cistern in your house, you know, a water collection area, and you can filter that and use your rainwater. But again, in the United States, there's a lot of crap about saving water depending on your town where people don't want you to do that. So they pass regulations, which is stupid, but whatever. Bypass the regulations. Nobody's going to come and check your house if you have a cistern. I doubt it. Anyway, if residents are unhappy with management's response to the problems, it can be difficult to leave. Oh yeah, well, they're not fixing my water. I'm moving out. That's because mobile homes aren't all that mobile. Residents often own the home, but rent the land they sit on, and it's difficult and expensive to move them. Yeah, don't get a house you can't move easily. Esther Sullivan, a professor of sociology at the University of Colorado, calls residents halfway homeowners because of this dynamic. She said they often put up with problems because of the difficulty in moving. That goes with every place you live, man. I tell you what, my water, the place I was renting in Oregon for the month, it was rusty. The water coming out of the water heater was rusty, right? Just in my hot water heater, not the rest of the building. So it left stains all over the tub no matter what I did. And I just kept running it and nothing never got better. Utah is a rare state that enforces safe drinking water standards, even within parks that get their water from another provider, according to AP's survey of states. And Colorado passed a law in 23 that requires testing the water in every mobile home park. Only 48 states ago. It gives health officials the ability to go beyond federal law to address taste, color, and smell that can make people afraid to drink their water, even when it's not a health risk. Yeah, the water tastes funny to me. I'm just not drinking it. I'm filtering it, maybe boiling it, but yeah, it's just me. Anyway, there's the story. That is the end. Don't trust your water. I don't care where the hell it comes from. I'm just saying, man.
Yeah,
These days,
I mean, when it comes to well water, it really is kind of a toss of a coin. So,
right?
what we learned here is don't trust your government to help you at all if you're living in the United States. There's my
No, the government has been been disbanded.
The local government
only wants,
even, right? It's not just the federal government. The local governments have been completely just defunded.
Yeah. This by the same people who say, "Whoa, it's government overreach to regulate our water," but that's not government overreach to send the National Guard to your city.
No.
Same people. Same people. Anyway, let's move on. Oh yeah, I gotta do the old soundboard for you. I didn't do that.
Do you have another story?
Nope, that was it.
Okay, then let's roll the wheel.
There you go.
Stay safe, everyone.
Homer thought it was funny. Homer is having himself.
All right, now you have to give me a non sequitur.
All right.
And this story is coming out of Canada. This is something I've never heard of, probably because I'm not living in Canada, but there is a cult leader who calls herself Queen of Canada in Saskatchewan, and she's been arrested, including 16 people, I think, of her cult in connection to an ongoing investigation in Richmond yesterday on the 3rd of September by Caitlin Brzezinski and Rory McLean on CTV News Canada. Romana Deludo, the leader of the Fringe Conspiracy Group, and her followers have been living in an old school in the remote Saskatchewan village of Richmond since September 23. Saskatchewan RCMP held a press conference yesterday on the 3rd of September afternoon to provide details on the investigation. Officers executed a search warrant around 4:30 a.m. on yesterday. So in the wild, that's an early search warrant, probably to get them all while they're sleeping. Yesterday on the 3rd of September at the former school after receiving a report on the August 25th of someone with a firearm. So they just needed something to catch him, right? Oh, you did something illegal. We have a search warrant. After receiving this report, Saskatchewan RCMP began an extensive investigation. It included a careful monitoring of any risk to public safety and to the community of Richmond. Inspector Ashley St. Germain, senior investigator with Saskatchewan RCMP's Major Crimes Branch, told reporters in Regina yesterday on the 3rd of September afternoon. A team of skilled and experienced senior officers was established to oversee this large and complex operation, he said. St. Germain said the response was made up of RCMP officers from across the province, including help from Regina Police Service SWAT program, noting that there were over 30 police vehicles and 2 tactical vehicles at the scene. The safety of the public and our officers is the top priority in any situation. We carefully examined the components of the property prior to execution of the search warrant. This maximized the likelihood of a quick, smooth, and safe operation, St. Germain explained. According to St. Germain, there were about 8 RVs parked on the property, with a team of officers clearing the RVs and another team clearing the building. Officers arrested 17 individuals, 10 were arrested inside the building, 6 were arrested in the RVs, and 1 was arrested outside a residence in Richmond. The buildings were cleared, and all individuals were arrested by 6 a.m., so it was a 30-minute execution. Sorry, that's not math. It was at 30, an hour and a half execution of the search warrant. The next phase of the investigation is now in its early stages. In an update from RCMP following the press conference, they confirmed 16 individuals were arrested, not 17. As of the last update from investigators, RCMP said 4 replica handguns were located and seized. So they're not, they can't shoot bullets. They're just replica. Like airsoft guns or something. Deludo rose to prominence in the wave of the alt subcultures that emerged during protests against COVID-19 pandemic. So that's all you need to really know about her. Oh, the pandemic isn't real. I'm not going to take a vaccine. You're all just trying to control us and put us in our houses. Guess what? People died. Deludo. People died from this sickness. The owner of the former school in Richmond, Rick Mans, was previously charged with assault, resisting arrest, and uttering threats. Earlier this month, the village office closed its door to the public, citing harassment and intimidation to staff. In a Telegram post on Wednesday, Deludo said the corporation police were inside the property calling out, "Get out of the trailer, you're under arrest," noting that she did not know who they were calling to come out. In recent weeks, village mayor Brad Miller was posted photos from the cult's compound, alleging they have been dumping raw sewage onto the grounds after being reprimanded for using the town's sewage infrastructure without paying. They don't pay their taxes. Police vehicles were seen surrounding the compound in photos and videos shared on social media. According to the RCMP, investigators are in the process of searching the group compound, collecting evidence, and interviewing those arrested. At this time, RCMP said no charges had been laid. They've just been arrested and detained for probably 24 hours. One resident in the town told CTV News the cult had created worry in the town, leaving residents feeling uneasy. I mean, they've got surveillance. They had spotlights. They were threatening us, and they were always being shady. You couldn't take your dog for a walk in the park. You couldn't take your kids over there without them videotaping, said Vanessa Johnson, a resident of Richmond. I think that this is a check, and not checkmate. She said the arrest of the group is a win for the community. She's no queen. She's no cult leader. She's no one to follow. I really do think that even if they do say this is just giving us a little bit more momentum on our side, it's a win for us. Richmond, Saskatchewan, is located north of Maple Creek near Alberta border, about 445 kilometers west of Regina. That's a very far away place. That was a very loud sound. Okay, I got your video. But there's your story.
Okay.
On somebody I didn't know anything about, and I have to agree with the last statement from the townie here. She's no one to follow. She's not even a cult leader. She's just a bullshitter, really. Who's been arrested for honestly not important things, but you know, they got her out of the town, right? That she's not there anymore. They don't want her there. They wanted to evict her somehow, so they had to get her on something.
Right.
How many things are you sending?
It would be nice if I sent you a little note, but took a second to load as I was typing because my computer was moving slow. I was my non sequitur. Is it time for that yet?
Yep.
It's like, wouldn't it be nice if people debated things on the basis of science instead of how it makes them feel? Wouldn't that be nice? That would be great. It's kind of a hypothetical, but there you go.
It would be pretty nice.
All right.
Let's go ahead and roll our segue wheel for our next story.
Oh, okay. So we're gonna do songs. So it's gonna be an audio interactive.
These songs with something, I guess.
You're gonna associate them with questions, I hope, because that's what it is. Today's musical questions are on the form of an Amazon playlist. Maybe I ought to sit down to a Spotify playlist too, because most people don't have Amazon Music. No, why?
Because fuck Spotify. I'd rather it be a YouTube music playlist.
Okay, maybe. Yeah, just maybe make a YouTube.
I'm purposely against Spotify myself.
Okay. All right, Neil Young. Let's go. Number one, we've done this at least 3 times. It might be 4. I lose track. But this is our Thursday 13 continuation of musical questions, and I'll add the rest of the musical questions to this list that already exists, so I don't have to keep recreating a new list. But this is the first time I put it on Amazon Prime, so we can play samples of it. So number 1 musical question on our list is by a band called War. You might know War from the song Lowrider, or you might know Cisco Kid, or you might know Spill the Wine. But anyway, War has the musical question, why can't we be friends? And it's not about meeting somebody or hooking up. It's more or less about society. We have a lot more in common than we have not in common. So why can't we be friends is what War asks as a musical question. And hit it!
All right, let's see if this works.
All right. Wow.
Why is it
We're
so
learning
fun?
on the fly. I don't have
All right, next song. I'll
either.
try to figure this out.
Number 2 on our list is from the Lovin' Spoonful, featuring John Sebastian, who we featured on one of our other lists. I think it was TV theme songs. John Sebastian and the Lovin' Spoonful asked the question, do you believe in magic? And of course, the rest of that question is, do you believe in magic in a young girl's heart? Do you believe in the magic of music? Yes, we do. We believe in the magic of the music. So let's hear Lovin' Spoonful. Go.
That's so loud. All right, next song.
Okay. Number 3, Annie Lennox of the Eurythmics' first solo hit was asked a musical question, why? Just it, why? And of course, the song itself is about herself and her own acceptance of her own image. Because as soon as Annie Lennox appeared on our televisions, oh my God, it's a woman with short hair, run for your lives. That kind of shit happened. So, yeah. Since people were morons, they projected their insecurities onto her, and she kept asking the question in the song, why? And hit it as Annie takes over. Of course, the British singer from the group The Eurythmics. Who probably the guy you were talking about is a real problem with. Oh my God. Yeah.
There we go. We got her to say why.
Why? Oh, yeah, to get to the question. Okay, so number 5, we're gonna go back to the old timey Rat Pack days. Sammy Davis Jr.'s version of this song, and the song is called "What Kind of Fool Am I?" So hit it, Sammy. And then he ends up asking at the end,
I do not have the song.
What kind of fool am I? What kind of fool I am?
Sorry, did you skip? Could you be loved by accident?
Oh, I did. I'm sorry. Let's go back to number 4. Let's do that one again. I'm getting ahead of myself.
You did that last week too.
Number 4.
You realized he accidentally skipped one. I'm making sure you didn't skip one.
Yeah, I'm getting ahead of myself. Well, I'm going to blame the computer for not clicking when I clicked. I'm going to go ahead and do that because that's what I do. So number 4, unfortunately, is out of order now. But number 4 is "Could You Be Loved" by Bob Marley. Bob Marley, kind of basically a basic question. Could you be loved? Are you capable of just thinking of other people by yourself? I mean, it's a rhetorical question. Everybody can be loved. Even a scumbag can be loved by his dog, right? Hitler's dog loved him. Anyway, let's do Bob Marley for real this time. Sorry. About that though. Hitler had a dog. His dog loved him, and Trump doesn't have a dog. Nobody loves him.
Now our next song.
All right, and our next song is the one I was just talking about. What kind of fool am I? I'm the kind of fool that skips right ahead to 5, going through 4 first. So number 5 on our list is "What Kind of Fool Am I?" by, this one is from the Rat Pack Sammy Davis Jr. It's kind of long. But eventually gets to the question. Well, I think he asked it right away. But here you go. "What Kind of Fool Am I?" by Sammy Davis. Now hit it.
Yeah, he does ask it right away.
Yeah. But later in the song, he keeps repeating "What kind of fool I am," right? Because it's part of the song. But he didn't write it; he's just repeating it.
What kind of fool am I?
I don't know who wrote the song. I did not look up that part. Could probably somebody very famous, because that's what happened there. Songwriting machines.
You could not talk during the song, and then people could hear it too.
Oh, I'm sorry.
It's already played. Next song.
All right, I will shut my.
I figured a way to make you hear it so that you can hear it playing. That's what I was trying to do. I was trying to output it through my mic, and then maybe you could hear it, but it wasn't.
It's not happening. It's just not happening, man. It's just you got too many clippings going on in your audio processing with Discord. So our next song, which I think is 6, is a Bob Dylan asked the question, and it's asked several questions. This entire song, every line is a question, and the song is called "What Was It You Wanted?" And the version you're going to hear is sung by Willie Nelson. So any combination of Bob Dylan and Willie Nelson is great. So hit it. Might have an intro that's a little long, but you'll get the questions.
A lot of these songs have very long intros.
Yeah. This one's live at Madison Square Garden at a Bob Dylan tribute.
What was it you wanted? Tell me again so I'll know what's happening in there. What's going on in your show? What was it you wanted? Could you say it again?
All right, I just wanted to play all the questions. Okay, there's like 5 questions at the beginning.
The whole song is one question after another, and they're all. And basically, the question is kind of like who are you and what are you doing here? It's basically the whole entire song. And it's a great song, and Willie Nelson does a great version of it. And his live version is better than his studio version. So that's why I played that one. It's better than the Bob Dylan version, because the Bob Dylan version doesn't have the harmonica. Or it doesn't have the same harmonica, let's put it that way. Number 7, I think, we're on here.
Yes.
Rod Stewart, and I'm going to be glad that I don't hear this one because I really don't like this song. But it has to go on our list because it was a number 1 song, and it was in a disco era, unfortunately, and Rod Stewart being the sellout that he is. Do you think I'm sexy? Oh, yeah. It's a song about meeting a stranger in a disco and hooking up and waking up the next morning. So if you don't know this song, bless you. And let me turn on the disco lights. Yeah, as I hit it, we're going to do the disco lights.
Does he ever ask the question if he's sexy?
It's in the chorus. Do you want my body and you think I'm sexy? Yeah, it's in the chorus. Yeah, you can skip it any time, right? It's like, this is the song, I'm only putting it on there because people know.
Yeah, I see it.
Yeah, I love Rod Stewart, hate this song. So, yeah.
Yeah, okay, here we go.
There you go.
I think it's probably sadly the only Rod Stewart song I know, except for maybe another one.
Maggie May?
I have no idea. I'd have to listen to all his songs and then go, oh yeah, I know this one, and now it's the only other one.
Well, you need to get in tune at least with the Faces, when he was with the Faces with Ron Wood and Steve Marriott's old group, who we are going to feature at the end of the show. All right, what number are we at now? I've lost track again. So that's 13, 12, 11, 10, 9.
Number 8.
Number 8 is a song that asks a musical question, what's up? But in the song itself, the actual question is, what's going on? So it makes you wonder what the hell they named it, what's up for. And the group is called 4 Non-Blondes, and they just want to know, what the hell's going on? So hit it. What's up? 4 Non-Blondes. All-girl group featuring no blondes, I guess. I don't think it was all girls. The singer was.
here we go. She's about to ask.
All right. What's going on? What is going on?
Of course, that song, if I want to add something in here, became famous because it was a meme. Somebody made the song, covered the song, but it was like a man singing really badly in a falsetto. They put it over a image of He-Man, and then He-Man was singing the song, and that became, if anybody is old enough to remember that meme, that's why that song, people know that song because of that meme, not because of the original, sadly.
Right on. And number 9, not only from the cartoon Disney movie, but you also know it from the play, right? Because you saw it on Broadway. Can You Feel the Love Tonight? Sung by Elton John, written by somebody else, but you can go ahead and play that one. Ask that question, which is a rhetorical question because, Simba's
if
the
you
one
saw the
feeling
film,
the love.
They were feeling the love. Don't worry.
Yeah, don't worry. Simba was feeling all kinds of love. Lion love, the only kind of true love.
Alright, here it comes. There's a question. You will take 5 minutes to sing the next one, so we're gonna go to the next song.
If you don't know it, well, it's one of your few Elton John songs not written by Bernie Taupin. Written by somebody else. Maybe Carol Bayer Sager or somebody wrote it. Number 10, this is from Van Halen. I bet what was known at the time when it first came out is Van Hagar, because they had replaced David Lee Roth with Sammy Hagar. And Sammy Hagar's first effort was actually a pretty good song called Why Can't This Be Love? It's got what it takes. So tell me, why can't this be love? So I don't know if you want to start it from the beginning because it has a little bit of an intro, but you can go ahead and hit
I've been skipping through to find the question, I'll be honest, so.
Okay, gotcha. It's in the chorus.
Oh, that is an intro. Oh my god.
Yeah, it's got the
1 minute
drum
long intro.
Guitar, and Sandy Hagar. Basically, the song is about, I really feel good. This is everything I want. Is this love? It's got to be love. I want some guidance. It's a very good song, actually. Van Halen usually just sang about having a good time. That's all their
Alright,
songs
we've
were
got
about.
2 questions that you talked through the whole entire time. Let's go to the next song. I know you can't hear the music playing, so you have to feel the silence.
Well, you can mute me, can't you? I don't know.
You're asking me to do too many things at once.
Okay, all right.
This is already difficult enough.
Number 11, we're trying to shut up for the last 3. This one is Annie Lennox again. Back when she was still with the Eurythmics, her I believe husband at the time, Dave Stewart. The Eurythmics and their hard rocking, forward pushing, get you up off your seat and get you dancing. Would I lie to you is the question. There you go. Hit it. I'll stop talking.
Oh, here it is. Eurythmics. This one starts with it. Maybe it doesn't start with that. There's a very long intro.
Very first line. The first line of it.
All right, we're good. I listened to the 30 to 30 seconds intro by accident.
All right, that's cool. I mean, number 12 as we're getting to wrap up the list. See, thought this day would never come, right? This is going back to the old timey. If you play guitar, you know anybody that owns an electric guitar, plays electric guitar, you like rock and roll, you have Les Paul to thank, because Les Paul was the guy not only who created a lot of information for electric guitars. He built electric guitars. He also built mixers. He built everything. He invented the modern studio, is what Les Paul is. And his wife was named Mary Ford, and she was a singer. And here's their song, which asked the question, it was their biggest hit, How High the Moon? And you may have to go for a while.
Pretty damn high. This one doesn't have lyrics.
Yeah, it is Mary, no, it is Mary Ford sings later.
Where there's heaven, it's where you are. The darkest night would shine if you would come to me soon. And until you will, still my heart, how high the moon.
Alright, we've got a Do You Know How High the Moon Is in there somehow. Through pure luck, I kind of have found it.
Yes, Les Paul, again, there's a guitar solo in there that's, I'm saying guitar solos. This was 1953, by the way. So that's just Les Paul inventing the guitar solo. It's before Chuck Berry. It's before all of your rock and roll singers. So Les Paul doing shit that you take for granted nowadays that people never heard of before in 1953. And our 13th on our list is System of a Down, and it's not a musical question. The name of the song is actually Question. With an apostrophe. I mean, an apostrophe, exclamation point. Question, and it's an instruction to telling you to question. Question everything. Question your existence. So hit it. If you can.
I'm going to skip to my favorite part of the song.
Dreaming.
And we're gonna stop it there before I listen to the whole song.
Right? Let's all jam. I'll get hit.
I think it is Mesmerize that has the songs I like the most on.
Yeah, Mesmerize. Yeah, that was then it was Hypnotize. It was like, yeah, let's put this one out now. Yeah. That's the one with Bring Your Own Bomb on it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay,
Instead
so there's
Bring
the
Your Own
list.
Beer. Classic.
There's the list. There's me making you work harder than you wanted to, and let's have your segue, and we'll get on with our lives.
Don't remember what it was.
You don't remember what your segue was?
No, I don't.
Association.
At all.
You're getting my senility.
It was Associate. Associate, that was
there
something. Well, I guess since the last song we're talking about, yeah, there you go. They're Associated. Well, I think a lot of people love Toxicity. It was their breakout hit album, but I really do think the duo albums of Mesmerize and Hypnotize don't get enough credit. There's some really great songs on there, so go listen to them. There's your Associate.
Oh, and go back and listen to the Steal This album, which was before Toxicity, which is
and
great.
Make sure you actually steal it. Pirate it off the internet. That's what they tell you to do.
Oh, exactly. They're telling you what to do. I'm just doing what I was told. Yeah. Anyway. Anyway, next story. I guess you're spinning the wheel for my little category.
Let's roll your wheel for your segue, which is.
Will you write it down?
Reminds me of a song again.
Yeah, I'm good there. I'm good. Yep, that'll do.
Okay, we're going to talk about my culture news, which this news is about. What is it about? That's a great question, Allie. This news is about Giorgio Armani, I can speak, who has sadly died at the age of 91, but he has a long life as an Italian-born billionaire who built a fashion empire that revolutionized menswear in the 1980s and 90s. This is by Ellie Muir and Greg Evans on The Independent. Giorgio Armani, the legendary Italian fashion designer who built his own sartorial Roman Empire, has died at the age of 91. The Milan-born billionaire who revolutionized fashion with his off-the-rack menswear range in the 1980s and 90s died at his home today on the 4th of September. Armani has been unwell for some time, having been forced to drop out of his show at Milan's Men's Fashion Week in June, marking the first time in his career he missed one of his own catwalk events in the city of his birth. With infinite sorrow, the Armani Group announces the passing of its creative founder and tireless driving force, Giorgio Armani, the fashion house said in a statement. The funeral chamber will be reportedly set up on Saturday and Sunday in Milan. If you would like to visit his dead body, which would be, what day is that? The 6th and 7th of September, the company said, followed by a private funeral at an unspecified date. At least within a week, otherwise it's not going to be good. With one of the most recognizable names in the industry, Armani is considered by fashion historians and commentators to be one of the most influential figures in European fashion of the 20th century. Known as Re Giorgio, King Giorgio, the designer was renowned for his attention to detail, overseeing minute details of his collection and aspects of his own business, from advertising to fixing models' hair as they head out to the runway. In a lengthy tribute, his company credited Armani with crafting a vision that expanded from fashion to every aspect of life, anticipating the times with extraordinary clarity and pragmatism. They added that he had been mindful of the needs of the community and was active on many fronts, especially in support of his beloved Milan, the company which is a reflection of his spirit and will continue to respect those values. Elsewhere, fellow Italian fashion designer Donatella Versace said the world had lost a giant today. Italian Prime Minister Giorgia Meloni said in an online tribute that Armani was a man of elegance, sobriety, creativity. He was able to bring luster to Italian fashion and inspire the entire world, an icon and tireless worker, a symbol of the best of Italy. Thank you for everything. German actor Diane Kruger, who has worn many Armani creations, wrote, "Incredible sadness to hear about the passing of Giorgio Armani, one of the nicest people and mentors I was lucky enough to meet and work with." Armani is regarded for giving working women in the 80s a wardrobe of feminine, timeless, and wearable suits for them to wear in the office. He would say later in his career that he designed elegant styles for the public, not for the fashion industry. After the launch of the eponymous label in 1975, the designer oversaw the expansion of his signature menswear line into an international luxury fashion empire, including Emporio Armani, Armani Exchange, and a higher-end Giorgio Armani line, also offering accessories, footwear, cosmetics, and home decor. I think they had really good shoes. I always hear about their shoes being good. Before his death, Armani was named Italia's second richest man after the heir to the Nutella empire. That's right, guys. Don't forget, Nutella is Italian, not German. A lot of people think Nutella is German for some reason. They're Italian.
Wow.
And they're making a lot of money.
Big hill of Nutella. Right. He's at king of
Giovanni
the Nutella mountains.
With his business expanding to restaurants, luxury hotels such as the Armani Hotel in the Burj Khalifa skyscraper in Dubai in the UAE, and a beauty partnership with L'Oreal. Armani's designs have evolved over the decades, but he's largely credited for revolutionizing the way women dress for work and express themselves in a professional environment. His runway shows were more decadent. His catwalks always shimmer with extravagant headpieces, ruffled collars, and sequin dresses, yet with the garment's construction based on classic silhouettes. Born in the northern Italian town of Piacenza on the 11th of July, 1934, for World War II, Armani was raised by his parents, Maria Raimondi and Ugo Armani, alongside his older brother Sergio and younger sister Rosanna. He was alive during the fascist Italian regime. Amazing.
The original fascist. He knew Mussolini.
Yeah.
Right? No, probably
but his
not.
school friends would be jealous of his clothes, which were all handmade by his mother. So he had a great fashionista mother. He said later in his career that he had always inspired by his parents' inner elegance, even though they couldn't afford luxury items. Long before Armani successfully tried his hand at fashion, he grew up aspiring towards a career in medicine and studied as an undergraduate course in the Department of Medicine in the University of Milan before dropping out in 1953 after 3 years. Started in 1950s. Armani briefly joined the Italian army and was placed in an infirmary in Verona shortly after leaving university for 2 years. But he took a new pathway when he became the window dresser for La Rinascente, a prominent department store in Milan, where he would work his way up to his first designing role at Nino Cerruti in the 1960s. In the late 60s, Armani met architect Sergio Gagliotti, which sparked the beginning of their personal and professional relationship that lasted many years, with the pair founding Armani's namesake label together in 1975. But he started his empire, I would say, 25 years after dropping out. He was 31 years old. That October, Armani presented his first collection of men's ready-wear for spring and summer in 1976 and produced a women's line for the same reason. They didn't witness their breakthrough until 5 years later in 1980, when they dressed actor Richard Gere for his role in Julianne Kaye in the film American Gigolo. Armani used his passion for cinema as an opportunity for advertising, like designing costumes for the 1987 film The Untouchables, and later went on to dress Leonardo DiCaprio's character in the 2013 film The Wolf of Wall Street. So that's where you can, all those good suits you've seen, probably Armani's. Armani was known firstly for revolutionizing simple and elegant suits, but later expanded the business beyond the realms of ready-to-wear fashion. In the late 80s, he signed an agreement with French beauty company L'Oreal to create perfumes and cosmetics for Armani Beauty, which still see high mainstream success today, and introduced the Armani Junior, Armani Jeans, and Emporio Armani lines. He introduced more lines such as Emporio underwear, swimwear, and accessories in 1982. In 91, he opened a line of simpler designs, selling more day-to-day pieces like t-shirts for men and women under the name AX Armani Exchange. Armani would dress Hollywood stars and musicians and was responsible for deciding the style of his longtime friend Eric Clapton, who had his whole band wear Armani. While the designer was intensely private about his personal life, he admitted in an interview in Vanity Fair in 2000, "I've had women in my life and sometimes men." Hey, we love bisexual here on Before Coffee, or at least I love a bisexual. Until his death, he was a chief executive and the sole shareholder of the Armani SPA, which makes the brand one of the few leading Italian labels from the era to remain independent from a conglomerate group. Well, let's hope that stays true now that he's passed away. We'll see.
That's
Into
not
the 2000s, Armani remained the pioneer for fashion and technology. He was the first designer in the haute couture world to broadcast a collection of live on the internet in 2007 for his Armani Privé Spring-Summer 2007 show via MSN. Anyone remember that? MSN live shows? Armani remained closely involved with the day-to-day running of the business, while his aides had previously claimed that there wasn't a document or financial figure he didn't sign off on. The designer told the Financial Times in the years before his death that he was afraid to die because he would no longer be in control level. I agree. That is very scary. These people are going to bastardize my company once I die. I know Giorgio Armani is identified with me, so it is my responsibility to make sure there will be continue, that the company will have a footprint that will resemble Signor Armani, he said in 23. Later in his career, he became increasingly outspoken about people in the fashion industry, such as calling out U.S. Vogue editor Anna Wintour not professional, and on an occasion criticizing the way some gay men dress by saying a man has to be a man. Excuse me, fashion does not have any borders. Armani previously called John Galliano, the Dior designer.
He's allowed to have an opinion, though, right? I suppose.
Yeah, in 2011, after making anti-Semitic remarks in a Paris bar, a genius but also a victim. To being anti-Semitic? It is a shame that you can't criticize anything without it being, you're being a racist. That is a big problem. He once said that his own designs were for the public, not for the fashion industry, in response to critics who said that his designs were too commercial or too boring. Good! They're not for you, rich assholes. Armani does not have any children, but he is survived by his nieces Roberta and Silvana Armani, who work for the Armani Group, while Andrea Camarana, his nephew, is a board member. So hopefully those three people can keep his vision alive and not bastardize the company now that he passed away. And I just want to read the first comment on this article that says, "I once owned a pair of trousers made by Armani, so I feel this loss keenly. I think they're being sarcastic, but it's a little funny, you know. Some jokes here at the sad passing of a fashion icon.
I once walked past the Armani store in New York City and didn't go in, so I feel personal tragedy.
I'm personally related to this loss, yeah.
Yikes!
I've never seen a single piece of Armani,
oh.
and also I don't care about fashion, so I feel. I think he lives a long life. I don't feel sad about it.
No, I mean, hey, you know,
listening to his obituary, he seemed to have a very fulfilling life.
He wasn't interested in putting houseplants on people's heads for the fashion show,
stuff like that.
to catch eyes and shit. It's like, okay, nobody's ever gonna fucking wear that, so nice, whatever, you know, those kind of things. Good for him, man. Anyway,
for this day in history.
Well, I got to do my reminds me of a song which I started out as one song that I didn't know existed was a song called Giorgio Armani, written by a Lithuanian EDM EDM group called Giovanni and Sebmont. All right, so there's a song actually of official video. I was kind of watching it while on mute, but it's EDM music, so maybe you've even heard it. But the song it actually reminded me of, you got further into the story and mentioned the movie American Gigolo. The song it reminded me of was "Call Me" by Blondie, which we referred to a couple of weeks ago in our French language list.
Yeah.
Call me. And it's all American Gigolo. So there you go. So he made his stripes at the same time Blondie was making their stripes. We'll go to this day in history after you spin the wheel. I haven't been doing the soundboard
at all today. Here we go.
I did a little bit. And then you brought up Eric Clapton being his best friend.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Too.
Our segue is haiku. I'll get you 3 haikus for the many different things that are happening on this day in history. So take us away.
Of course, Eric Clapton, famous for stealing George Harrison's wife. So I guess Armani didn't have that worry, right?
No.
I
think at the end of the day, he was a career man. You know, he chose his career over any
I'm safe
relationships.
Eric Clapton might want to steal me, but he's not going to steal my wife because I don't have one. So
maybe he slept with Eric Clapton. We'll never know.
Totally possible. Eric's not telling. 925 is the year we're going back to in this day in history. King Athelstan of the West Saxons became the first king to rule all of England. Congratulations, old Athelstan. And we all thought it was King Arthur. Well,
that's how you say that.
That's what
Athelstan.
Okay, Athelstan. Okay. Hey, man, this is the pronunciation.
You need to learn your old English. What's wrong with you?
You mispronounce stuff too, my dear. 1768, French author and diplomat François Auguste Régnier. Did I pronounce that? Vicomte de Chateaubriand, who was one of the country's first romantic writers and France's preeminent literary figure in the early 19th century. Anyway, he was born on this day in 1768, before the French Revolution. In 1864, John Hunt Morgan, the Confederate guerrilla leader, what the hell does that mean? The Confederate guerrilla leader of Morgan's Raiders was killed by federal troops. Ha ha.
Morgan's scumbag. Raiders.
Morgan's Raiders. Sound like a bunch of cowards to me that attack you like you were in defense, undefended. They're probably murdering slaves. That's probably what they were actually doing. Confederacy is garbage. They were up to no good. They had no real anything except we want to own people. That's all they wanted. 1870, Napoleon III, who ruled France as president, 50 to 1852, and then as emperor. It wasn't enough to be president. Next time he came back, I'm the emperor now. For 18 years, he was deposed in 1870, and the Third Republic proclaimed. Okay, so we did this the other day. The Third Republic was the end of this Napoleon nonsense. You're not Napoleon. You're not Napoleon's kid. You're just like his nephew, distant relative, whatever.
Yeah.
Get the hell out of here. 1908, novelist and short story writer Richard Wright, not the guy from Pink Floyd, not the keyboard player from Pink Floyd, but among the first African-American writers to protest white treatment of blacks, was born in 1908. Among the first African Americans to protest white treatment of blacks, and he was born in 1908. What were people Nobody was complaining before then? Come on. All right. 1957, Ford Motor Company introduced the Edsel automobile, which was perhaps the most notable failure. Not a bad car. Henry Ford named it after his son, which was kind of a mistake because his son had to live it down the rest of his life, even though he was a rich guy and he ran a motor automobile company. That was in 1957. Also on this date, 1972, American swimmer Mark Spitz won his 7th gold medal during the Munich Olympic Games, the first person to ever do it in a single Olympics. I don't know if our boy from Maryland here ever beat that record. I know he got more medals total, for sure. 1972, Michael Phelps. 1972, the revival The Price is Right began airing with Bob Barker as host. It was a huge hit, becoming one of the longest running game shows on American television, still on the air. Bob Barker's gone, but Drew Carey is doing the show. And that's all he does now. He's not doing Whose Line Is It Anyway? He's just doing that show. 1989, the National Aeronautics and Space Administration and the U.S. Air Force launched the last Titan III rocket. Where they sent it, it doesn't say. Maybe just went up in space and said, bye. Don't forget to write. 1989 also, no, 1998. I'm getting dyslexia here at my old age. 1998, the American search engine company Google Inc. was formally established by founders Sergey Brin and Larry Page, filed incorporation papers. They existed as a company, but they became a corporation, and of course corporations are evil, and they just basically reshuffle stock and make you buy crap that's worthless and make themselves rich. That's what corporations do. The owners decided, we're going to cash in and ruin this company, which everybody does eventually when they get enough cash and money and assets. They got to do something. That's what usually happens. You get so big, you got to incorporate and sell stock. And that's how you're raising money for the rest of the time. You're anything is the stock price is all that matters. Nothing else. 2002, American singer Kelly Clarkson became the first winner of the reality television series American Idol 23 years ago of American Idol, which is I think on its 3rd network now. 2006, the sad day as Steve Irwin passed away. He was killed by a venomous bull stingray, not a crocodile hunt, not a crocodile or anything that you would think would kill a guy who was always hunting crocodiles. Anyway, he achieved worldwide fame as the exuberant and high-risk-taking host of the TV's Crocodile Hunter from 1992 until his death in 2006. TV series and related documentaries. Miss Steve Irwin. We really miss him. 2014, American entertainer Joan Rivers died in a totally unironic way. She died on the operating table getting plastic surgery, which she was famously always talked about. Getting her next plastic surgery was in her stand-up act.
It was very important in destigmatizing it, right?
Destigmatizing it, which it
a shameful act when it's just like whatever. It's like getting a tattoo for some people. Whatever. Who cares?
Yeah, but again, stop messing with your face. Just everybody, stop.
I just don't care what you do with your own body.
I don't care either, but it's like, if I gotta look at people that used to look normal and now they're like, oh my God, what happened to your lips? That just scares me. It just scares me. It's like a Halloween costume. Anyway, she passed away. She first gained fame as one of the few female nightclub comics. There was probably 2 to 10 at the time. There was probably her, Phyllis Diller, Toadie Fields. There was a few, but she's the one that really hit it big. Can We Talk? And she also had her own red carpet show with her daughter. Anyway, she first gained fame in the 1960s as a nightclub and television comic known for her catchphrase, Can We Talk? And who later critiqued celebrities' wardrobes. Speaking of Armani. She died in New York City on the operating table, as we said, 11 years ago today. 2016, Mother Teresa died. Want to go to the other end of the spectrum. Mother Teresa, founder. Oh, no, she wasn't died. She was canonized in this day by the Pope. founder of the Order of the Missionaries of Charity, winner of the 1979 Nobel Prize for Peace. He was canonized by Pope Francis I. And in a total rush job. It's like, we just want to canonize people now. It's kind of, I call it lowering the bar. They used to have to canonize people like 200 years after they died, right? They have to be like this. Now it's like, whatever, famous Catholic, canonize them. Our featured event, 1781. Los Angeles was founded on this day in 1781. So happy birthday to Los Angeles. You are now 244. On this day in 1781, Spanish settlers laid claim to what became Los Angeles, now the second most populous U.S. city and the home to Hollywood, which we have to point that out to some people, I guess, whose name is synonymous with the American motion picture industry. Los Angeles, which I only associate now with the movie Big Lebowski. And it's a birthday of, guess whose birthday it is today? It's Beyonce's birthday. She was born on September 4th, 1981, not too long after I graduated high school. She turned 44 today. So here's a sequence of events. I graduated high school, sequence of events. I graduated high school. Beyonce was born. Those are the only 2 days. The only thing you need to know about it, right? How it relates to me. Other birthdays today. 1825. Oh boy, here's a name. Indian nationalist leader Dada Bhai Naroji was born. So he's turning on 200 today. 1896, Antonin Artaud, French author and actor, born in 1896. So he's well over 100. Richard Wright, we brought up earlier, 1908. Henry Ford II. We brought up the Edsel. Well, Henry Ford II was born on this day, 1917. The son, of course, of Henry Ford. And we already did Beyonce. National dates, not too many. We're going to wrap this up soon. It's National Wildlife Day. There's always wildlife. National Newspaper Carrier Day, if that's a thing anymore. I haven't seen a newspaper carrier in probably 15 years. National Macadamia Nut Day and National Spice Blend Day. So those are your 4 or 5 things today. Your mispronunciations, your spins of the wheel, your list, your songs, everything for September 4th, 2025 on Before Macadamia Nuts and Spice Blend. Spice Blend, it's just blend a bunch of spices. They call them curries in a lot of places.
Good spice blend.
Anyway.
Everyone likes that, yeah.
A nice curry.
Okay, there are no international observances today, so nothing to cover there. I've got 3 haikus for you that I wrote. Want to hear about them? Here we go.
I want to hear. Here you go.
City of Angels, sunset dreams and endless roads, stars and dusty skies. For the founding of Los Angeles there. Then.
All right.
Queen of Melodies. Today the stars align bright. Beyonce shines on because it's her birthday. And finally, nuts of creamy bliss. National Macadamia. Joy in every bite. And very high fat content. So if you want to do a more fat-based diet, less carbs, more fats, macadamias are a great food for filling up your stomach and also very nutritious. So.
Right, just don't overdo it. Don't overdo it on the nuts.
Of course,
because
balance is key in all things.
They're really delicious, but they can harm you later. But yeah, there's your. Let me
that's everything. I've got the mic drop moment slotted in. This has been Allison from the Netherlands, Roger from the East Coast of the U.S. as we tie up another long episode of our Thursdays 13. Make sure you listen to all those songs on our 13 list and let us know if we missed any songs with a question, and then maybe we can have a commenter's version of the list where we just list all the ones that you found out or our commenters have pointed out. Don't forget to follow us. Well, you can follow us on Patreon. You can support us on Patreon because we don't make any money doing this show. So if you'd like to monetarily support us, and if you can't do that, following, subscribing, very important. We need more subscribers so YouTube knows our channel exists and puts us out there in the algorithm.
Yes.
And here
YouTube is burying us somehow.
Some humble
And
mic drop moment.
your first story, which was, we can't go to the doctor. That's too complicated. You know? But as Steve Marriott and the
I feel like we've done this
Blackberries
one
and the
before, but hey,
oh, we have.
Give
But
them
it's a
some
rocking
more-
song.
more sights on humble pie.
Yep, definitely. He's telling you right now. Do you need a doctor?
This seems like
Love
just
this
a live recording, right? They're just in somebody's hotel hall.
Yeah, yeah, I think they were live in Europe for Midnight Special, right?
Oh.
But they were just doing their sound check for the night show, I think in the hotel lobby or some shit. And they said, yeah, let's set up here in the hotel ballroom and do it. And I think
where
that's
are
what
they
happened
from?
here. Humble
Really?
Pie? England.
Yeah.
And the background singers are American. They're the Blackberries.
Are you sure about that? There's a lot of famous German background singers.
They're black.
That doesn't mean anything. There's been black people all over the world.
That's
Just because
true.
they're black doesn't
No,
mean they're American.
I'm sure they're American.
There's a lot of famous German black people who are background singers.
Yeah. Humble Pie was sitting around thinking, we need more soul. Let's go to Germany. No, they're Americans.
Yeah, and even in the NHS now you can get 2 doctors.
Yeah, that's right.
2 doctors will tell you, nope, you're definitely crazy. No, I'm just kidding. You're not sick, you're crazy. Well, that's really the issue right there. So many doctors in England were just refusing to medicate anything, and I think that's why Martha died. It wasn't medicated. They're like, no, she just has a fever, and she didn't get any help. Not in time.
And you see a young Peter
It took
Frampton
them until
there.
she was on her deathbed for another doctor to come in and say, oh shit. He actually had a very dangerous condition that if we caught early, but we didn't catch it early, we just kept on confusing that it was anything. Sadly.
Be sure to hit the like, subscribe, and notify buttons, and follow our other channels, Toxic Alley, History of Gravy, and Scratchy Old Records.